15 November is not just a date on a calendar. It is a mirror held in front of you, showing you the truth of your inner world. On this day, everything you have been waiting for begins with the alignment happening inside you. Manifestation does not start from the outside. It starts the moment your thoughts, emotions, and actions stand together. Instead of fighting each other, 15 November becomes powerful because you choose to bring this inner harmony into reality. When the mind becomes quiet, when the heart becomes steady, when the body becomes disciplined, the world around you can no longer resist your direction. On 15 November, you are being asked to look at yourself without distortion. Many people chase manifestations with a scattered mind, a restless heart, and inconsistent actions. They want results, but their energy moves in too many directions. This day calls you to gather yourself, to pull back your power from fear, from doubt, from distractions, and place it back into your own hands. Inner alignment is not a concept, it is a practice. And 15 November becomes the day you practice it with full intensity. When you align within, you stop leaking energy. You stop fighting invisible battles. You stop confusing the universe with mixed signals. There is a moment on this day where you will feel clarity rising. It may come quietly, like a breath, or it may come strongly, like a realization that shakes your entire being. But it will come, because 15 November is the day you stop running from your truth. You understand what you want, and more importantly, you understand why you want it. That why becomes your compass. It guides your thoughts toward focus, your emotions toward stability, and your actions toward consistency. This is alignment. This is the beginning of manifestation. As 15 November arrives, you begin to feel the weight of unnecessary thoughts falling away. You no longer carry the past like a burden. You no longer walk in circles around old limitations. You choose presence, you choose awareness, you choose inner strength. When these choices rise within you, your entire inner world shifts. And when your inner world shifts, your outer world cannot remain the same. This is why 15 November carries power, not because the universe changes, but because you change in the presence of this day. Inner alignment means you stop pretending, you stop hiding from your fears, you stop denying your potential, you become honest with yourself, and this honesty becomes the source of your transformation. On this day, you understand that manifestation is not magic. It is the result of clarity meeting intention. It is the result of discipline meeting desire. It is the result of your inner world organizing itself into purpose. 15 November calls you into this organization. It calls you to step into the version of yourself who no longer waits, but acts. You begin to sense that life responds to the way you think and feel. When you allow your mind to wander in doubt, life mirrors that doubt back to you. When you allow your heart to remain tangled in fear, life gives you experiences that reflect that fear. But when 15 November arrives and you decide to release these patterns, something opens. Your energy becomes pure. Your intention becomes sharp. Your path becomes visible. This is inner alignment. This is why manifestation becomes possible now. On this day, you must remain aware of your thoughts. You must remain aware of your inner dialogue. Every thought becomes a seed. Every emotion becomes the soil. Every action becomes the sunlight that helps this seed grow. If these parts of you are not working together, nothing you desire can rise. But on 15 November, you bring all of them into harmony. You plant the right seeds. You nurture them with the right emotions. You feed them with the right actions. and you do it with absolute consistency. 15 November teaches you one powerful truth. The world does not respond to what you say you want. It responds to the energy you carry. It responds to the alignment you live with. It responds to the clarity you embody. This is the day you stop sending mixed messages to your future. You decide who you are. You decide what you want. You decide how you move. And life begins to respond at the same frequency. As you step deeper into this day, you realize that manifestation becomes natural the moment you stop resisting yourself, the moment you stop doubting your path, the moment you stop negotiating with your power. 15 November becomes the doorway to your next level because you finally align with the version of yourself who is capable of receiving everything you have been waiting for. You do not chase, you do not force, you simply align. And when alignment happens, manifestation follows like a shadow that cannot separate from its source. This is the power of 15 November. This is the day everything inside you finally stands together. When you master your inner world, the outer world has no choice but to obey. 15 November becomes a powerful reminder that manifestation begins with awareness. Awareness is the gateway through which every transformation enters your life. Without awareness, you walk through your days unconsciously, repeating old patterns, carrying old fears, and living by old beliefs that no longer serve your growth. But on 15 November, something shifts. This day calls you to open your eyes, not the ones on your face, but the ones inside your mind. The eyes that see your truth, the eyes that recognize your potential, the eyes that understand what has been holding you back. Awareness is not complicated. It is simply the act of noticing. Noticing what you truly want, noticing what you no longer want, noticing what drains your energy and what gives you strength. On 15 November, this noticing becomes sharper. You begin to observe yourself without judgment. You begin to see the thoughts that control you, the emotions that influence you, and the habits that shape your reality. When you see clearly, you can choose wisely. And when you choose wisely, you begin to manifest consciously. This day invites you to stop rushing, to stop living automatically, to stop moving as if you are blind to your own inner world. Instead, 15 November asks you to slow down and listen. Listen to your mind, listen to your heart, listen to your intuition. These parts of you have been speaking for years, but they become louder today. They remind you that manifesting the life you want begins with understanding the life you are currently creating. You cannot change what you do not see, and you cannot transform what you do not acknowledge. Awareness on 15 November becomes your teacher. It shows you where your energy is leaking. It shows you which fears you keep feeding. It shows you the excuses that keep your dreams waiting. This kind of awareness is not meant to make you feel small, it is meant to make you powerful. When you see your patterns clearly, you gain the ability to break them. When you see your limiting beliefs clearly, you gain the strength to release them. Awareness does not imprison you, it frees you. On this day, life becomes more transparent. You begin to recognize the connection between your inner state and your outer experiences. You notice how certain thoughts lead to certain outcomes. You notice how your emotions influence your decisions. And you notice how your behaviors shape your destiny. This level of awareness becomes the foundation of manifestation. Because once you understand the cause, you can change the effect. Once you recognize the source, you can redirect its power. 15 November reminds you that awareness is a form of responsibility. It means you stop blaming circumstances, people, and timing. You stop waiting for life to change on its own. You realize that everything begins inside you. your success, your growth, your manifestation. This day pushes you to take ownership of your mind, to take ownership of your choices, to take ownership of your direction. When you own your awareness, you own your life. Awareness also teaches you to separate truth from illusion. It shows you which desires come from your heart and which come from fear or comparison. On 15 November, you look within and discover what you truly want, not what others expect from you, not what society tells you, but what your inner self seeks. When your desire comes from truth, manifestation becomes natural. The universe supports what is real. It does not support what is forced or pretended. This day reveals your real intentions, and once you know them, your path becomes clearer. Awareness is also the beginning of self-respect. When you are aware, you stop tolerating what injures your peace. You stop holding on to people who drain your spirit. You stop returning to situations that weaken your strength. 15 November becomes a day where you choose to treat yourself as someone worthy of clarity, worthy of growth, worthy of alignment. This is how manifestation begins, by respecting your inner world enough to clean it, strengthen it, and elevate it. As this day unfolds, you may feel moments of silence, moments where everything inside you becomes still. This stillness is not emptiness, it is awareness settling into your being. In this quietness, you see things you once overlooked, you feel truths you once ignored, you understand directions you once resisted. 15 November turns this quiet into a turning point, a moment where you witness your life from a higher perspective. And from that higher view, you realize that nothing around you is accidental. Everything is connected, everything is shaped by your awareness. When you become aware, you stop living as a passenger of your life and start living as the driver. You no longer wait for signs, you create them. You no longer chase clarity, you cultivate it. You no longer hope for manifestation, you embody the mindset that makes manifestation possible. This is the gift of 15 November. It offers you the wisdom to see yourself clearly and the strength to transform what you see. Awareness is the first step toward manifesting everything you have been waiting for. And on 15 November, that step becomes unavoidable. You rise above your old patterns. You rise above your old fears. You rise above your old limits. You step into a new level of consciousness. And with that consciousness, you begin to attract a new level of life. This is the power of awareness. This is the power of 15 November. 15 November stands as a reminder that discipline is the silent force shaping your entire reality. On this day, you come face to face with the truth that manifestation does not answer desire alone. It responds to the discipline behind the desire. You may dream, you may hope, you may wish for transformation, but without discipline, nothing rises. 15 November marks the moment you recommit to your path with a strength that even your past self could not imagine. This day teaches you that discipline is not the enemy of freedom, it is the foundation of it. On 15 November, you understand that everything you have been waiting for requires consistency, not bursts of motivation, not emotional highs, not temporary excitement. What you want demands steadiness. Discipline becomes the bridge between your intentions and your results. It becomes the force that turns mental clarity into physical manifestation. This day asks you to step away from excuses, from delays, from the stories you tell yourself about why you can't start or why you can continue. Discipline begins the moment you stop creating reasons to hold yourself back. Discipline is not harsh, it is not punishment, It is self-respect in motion. It is the way you tell yourself, I am worthy of my own commitment. On this day, you recognize that every routine you follow, every practice you repeat, every choice you honor strengthens your inner backbone. It builds a structure inside you, and with this structure, your life gains direction. Without discipline, energy scatters, focus weakens, intention fades. But when 15 November arrives, you bring all of yourself back into order. You choose to live with precision. You choose to live with purpose. There is a power in discipline that many overlook. Discipline creates momentum. Once you begin moving, something inside you awakens. The more consistent you become, the less effort it takes to continue. On 15 November, this truth becomes clear. You no longer rely on motivation to carry you. You rely on rhythm. Motivation may fail, emotion may shift, but rhythm, once built, becomes unstoppable. This day becomes the moment you build a rhythm that your future self will thank you for. Discipline also breaks illusions. It forces you to see where you have been inconsistent, where you have allowed comfort to win over growth, where you have allowed hesitation to replace action. On 15 November, these illusions dissolve. You face your patterns honestly. You recognize where you have been weak, and instead of feeling discouraged, you feel empowered, because now you can choose differently. Now you can act with strength. Now you can commit with clarity. There is a simplicity in discipline that is deeply liberating. When you know what you must do, you no longer waste energy on doubt. When you follow your routines, you no longer negotiate with your mind. On 15 November, your path becomes clean. You do the work because it is aligned with who you are becoming. Not because it is easy, but because it is necessary. Discipline frees you from the chaos of inconsistency. On this day, you begin to feel your relationship with yourself changing. You trust yourself more. You believe your own promises. You follow through even when no one is watching. This is the kind of discipline that transforms lives. It does not shout. It does not dramatize. It builds silently like a foundation beneath a temple, strong, steady, unshakable. And the beauty of 15 November is that it pushes you to build this foundation without hesitation. Discipline is also the way you show the universe that you are serious. Many people ask for blessings but do nothing to hold them. Many people pray for opportunities but lack the structure to sustain them. On 15 November, you step out of this pattern. You become the person who matches the energy of your desires. You become the person who acts with intention, not impulsiveness. You become the person who follows through even on days when motivation disappears. This is what makes manifestation possible. As this day unfolds, you begin to feel your power rising. Discipline gives you strengths you did not know you had. It sharpens your mind, it calms your emotions, it strengthens your resilience. Every action you take on this day reminds you that manifestation is not a distant possibility. It is a direct consequence of your commitment. You are not waiting for life to change. You are shaping it with your own hands, step by disciplined step. 15 November becomes a doorway, a moment where you choose the disciplined version of yourself over the comfortable one. A moment where you choose progress over excuses. A moment where you choose long-term growth over short-term pleasure. And as these choices repeat, your entire identity transforms. You become a person who lives with clarity, not confusion, with intention, not distraction, with direction, not laziness. Discipline is the force that turns your life from wishful thinking into measurable transformation. On 15 November, you embrace this force fully. You understand that nothing meaningful can be built without it. You recognize that the future you want depends on the actions you take today. And you realize that discipline is not a burden, it is the tool that will finally bring everything you have been waiting for into your hands. This is the power of 15 November, the day your discipline begins to shape your destiny. The day you step into the version of yourself who no longer waits for change, but creates it through unwavering commitment. 15 November becomes the day you finally understand that the energy you carry is the energy that shapes your entire life. Manifestation is not just about thoughts or wishes. It is about the vibration you hold in your body, the emotional frequency you send out, and the internal climate you live with every single day. On 15 November, this truth becomes louder, clearer, and impossible to ignore. Your energy is not invisible. It is not accidental. It is the force that decides what moves toward you and what moves away from you. On this day, you begin to see that everything you attract is connected to the state you maintain within yourself. If your mind is filled with doubt, your path becomes slow. If your heart is filled with fear, your progress becomes blocked. If your emotions are tangled in old pain, your life repeats the same lessons. But when 15 November arrives, a shift begins. You are encouraged to observe your energy honestly, to see the way you think, to feel the way you hold emotion, to recognize the vibration you broadcast. This awareness becomes the first step toward transformation. There is a power in energy that many underestimate. People try to change their lives through effort alone, but effort without the right vibration becomes frustration. On 15 November, you understand that when your energy rises, your life rises with it. When you choose clarity, the path becomes clearer. When you choose faith, opportunities begin to open. When you choose inner strength, situations begin to align. Your energy is the signal that tells the universe what you are ready for. On this day, you begin to notice how your energy changes your environment. When you carry heaviness, everything feels heavier. When you carry lightness, everything becomes lighter. When you walk with confidence, situations respond with openness. 15 November teaches you that the world mirrors your internal state. You do not attract what you simply want. You attract what you are in harmony with, what you are energetically equal to, what you emotionally embody. This realization is not meant to pressure you, but to empower you. Because if your energy shapes your life, you have the power to shift everything. Energy is also honesty. It reveals what you try to hide. You can speak positivity, but if your energy carries fear, the fear speaks louder. You can pretend to be strong, but if your energy carries doubt, the doubt becomes visible. 15 November asks you to stop living behind emotional masks, to stop pretending you are fine when your energy is weak, to stop ignoring the tension you carry. This day encourages you to cleanse your energy by being truthful with yourself. When you acknowledge your feelings, you free them. When you free them, you rise. There is a moment on 15 November where you feel the difference between forced positivity and genuine inner strength. Forced positivity tries to escape reality. Genuine strength transforms it. This day guides you toward building real inner power, not by denying emotions, but by facing them. Not by suppressing thoughts, but by understanding them. When your internal energy becomes grounded, steady, and aligned, manifestation begins to accelerate naturally. You are no longer fighting against yourself. Your energy is your responsibility. No one else can protect it for you. No one else can elevate it for you. On 15 November, you learn to guard your energy with sincerity. You choose peace over conflict. You choose growth over drama. You choose intention over impulsiveness. You choose clarity over confusion. These choices become the vibrations that shape your future. Your energy becomes disciplined, focused, pure. And when your energy becomes pure, your destiny begins to move. This day also teaches you the importance of releasing what lowers your vibration. Letting go is not weakness, it is purification. When energy becomes stagnant, life becomes stagnant. 50 November pushes you to remove emotional clutter, old memories, old expectations, old fears. When these weighty vibrations leave your system, your inner world becomes spacious again. And in this space, new beginnings appear. You begin to understand that your energy attracts people as well. Strong energy attracts strong people. Clear energy attracts clear opportunities. Confident energy attracts aligned circumstances. On 15 November, your energy becomes a magnet. It becomes a language. It becomes a message saying, I am ready for the life I desire. You do not need to chase anything. Your energy pulls what belongs to you. This day marks a shift in how you treat yourself. You begin to speak to yourself with more power. You begin to move with more intention. You begin to breathe with more awareness. Your energy becomes your priority. And as you nourish it, everything in your life begins to reflect that nourishment. This is the true meaning of manifestation. Your internal vibration rearranges your external reality. 15 November becomes the moment you rise above the old version of yourself. You understand that low energy cannot create a high-level life. You understand that self-doubt cannot create a powerful destiny. You understand that fear cannot build a future of abundance. So on this day, you choose a different vibration. You choose strength, you choose clarity, you choose alignment. And with these choices, the world around you begins to shift in your favor. This is the essence of 15 November. The day your energy becomes your greatest tool. The day your vibration becomes your foundation. The day you stop waiting for change and begin becoming the change. Your energy determines what you attract. And when your energy rises, your entire life follows. 15 November becomes the day you understand that action is the bridge between the spiritual and the physical. You may visualize, you may pray, you may affirm, but none of it becomes real until you take action that matches your intention. This is the day where you recognize that manifestation is not about waiting for signs, it is about becoming the sign. It is about moving with courage, moving with clarity, and stepping into the life you have been imagining. 15 November teaches you that your dreams are waiting for your steps, not your hesitation. On this day, you begin to see that action is the language of commitment. Anyone can dream, anyone can want change, but only those who act show the universe that they are ready. Action is how you signal seriousness. It is how you declare, I am not just wishing for my future, I am building it. This is the message you send out on 15 November. You stop thinking about the past and you start walking it. You stop hoping for a breakthrough and you start creating consistency. You stop waiting for the perfect moment and you use this moment. Action transforms energy. When you move, even in small steps, your vibration rises. Hesitation lowers your energy, but action raises it. On 15 November, you feel this shift inside you. The more you move, the more momentum builds. The more momentum builds, the more your belief grows. And as belief strengthens, manifestation begins to accelerate. This day becomes a turning point not because of luck, but because you finally decide to take full responsibility for your growth. Action also cuts through confusion. Many people feel lost because they overthink. They analyze every possibility, every outcome, every fear, But thinking without action becomes a trap. It keeps you stuck in the same place while your dreams remain distant. On 15 November, you break this cycle. You act first, you learn second, and you improve third. This pattern creates movement, and movement creates clarity. The more you act, the more your path reveals itself. What once felt uncertain becomes obvious because you are actively engaging with your life instead of just observing it. On this day, you learn that action dissolves fear. Fear grows in stillness, but it shrinks in motion. The moment you take one step, fear begins to lose its power. The moment you take 10 steps, fear becomes smaller than your determination. This is the power of 15 November. It invites you to reclaim your courage by doing instead of doubting. Action becomes your shield. It becomes your teacher. It becomes your strength. Through action, you realize you are more capable than you ever believed. 15 November reminds you that progress does not require perfection. It requires willingness. Many dreams die because people wait until they feel fully ready. But readiness is created through action, not before it. When you move, readiness grows. When you show up, confidence builds. When you take action, even imperfect action, the universe meets you halfway. This day teaches you that effort speaks louder than fear. Discipline speaks louder than doubt. Movement speaks louder than hesitation. Action is also alignment. When your inner world and your outer world move together, manifestation becomes inevitable. If your thoughts are positive, but your actions contradict them, nothing happens. If your heart wants growth, but your habits remain the same, nothing changes. On 15 November, your actions begin to match your intentions. You become internally and externally aligned. This alignment creates power. It creates flow. It creates results. As this day continues, you begin to feel a new level of self-respect growing inside you. When you act, you trust yourself more. You rely on yourself more. You admire yourself more. Every step becomes proof that you are capable of building the future you desire. This is the foundation of self-growth. Not just thinking better, but acting stronger. Not just dreaming higher, but moving forward. Action turns you into a creator instead of a spectator of your own life. 15 November becomes a reminder that action opens doors that thoughts alone cannot. Opportunities reveal themselves when you step toward them. People appear when you put yourself in motion. Resources arrive when you commit to your path. Action creates a chain reaction. One step leads to the next, and before you realize it, you have moved further in one day of action than in months of wishful thinking. This is why this date carries so much power, because you finally take the steps you once avoided. This day teaches you to stop negotiating with your potential. You stop waiting for motivation, because action creates motivation. You stop waiting for inspiration, because action creates clarity. You stop waiting for the perfect moment, because action creates opportunity. 15 November becomes the foundation of a new version of yourself, one who moves with purpose, speaks with intention, and acts with discipline. Action is the bridge. It is the force that takes your dreams out of your mind and places them into your hands. On 15 November, you walk across that bridge. You stop imagining and you begin experiencing. You stop wishing and you begin building. You stop hoping and you begin becoming. This is the power of this day. This is the moment where manifestation shifts from being a possibility to becoming your reality because you finally take the steps that make it so.